and I can see the highways guys towing this car to safety. So always will be back open soon at the exit slip junction 14 M1 northbound partly blocked. A bit later on from 10 o'clock the southbound M1 is shutting tonight while they put in the Newton Road Bridge. That's going to close from Flitwick at junction 12 down to Brent towards junction 11 from 10 o'clock tonight until 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. Still looking very busy around Great Western. The 413 is a bit slow after an accident earlier. The northbound queue still not quite recovered, slow back towards Great Western. And Luton Airport could be some delays into France because of a strike by French air traffic controllers. Adam Moore, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Done and dusted for another Monday Night Sport. A picture of the part-time Pelé Trophy is going on Twitter in about 2 minutes' time. Jeff's on that right now. Justin back from 6 o'clock tomorrow, and we'll be back on Good Friday. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Good night.
Local and vocal across Beds, Herts and Bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
The government's not planning to make any further cuts to welfare spending. That's according to the new Work and Pensions Secretary, Stephen Crabb. Reductions to some disabled benefits have been scrapped after his predecessor, Ian Duncan-Smith, resigned over the issue. Here's Stephen Crabb speaking in the Commons.
So discussing this issue over the weekend with my right honourable friends, the Prime Minister and the Chancellor, we have no further plans to make welfare savings beyond the very substantial savings legislated for by Parliament 2 weeks ago, which we will now focus on implementing.
The government also agreed to scrap the so-called tampon tax on sanitary products and abandon plans to increase VAT on solar panels. The police investigation into allegations of paedophilia in Westminster in the 70s and 80s involving politicians and other public figures has been closed. Operation Midlands began with claims by one man, some involving the former Prime Minister Edward Heath. The former head of the army, Lord Bramall, was told in January he'd face no action. He says the public nature of the investigation was completely wrong.
Although they may have thought they'd done what the public required of them after Jimmy Savile's case, to leave no stone unturned and be no respecter of persons, and spread their net wide and not to gainsay any victims. They had actually made mistakes and lacked judgment over my case.
The 19-year-old man who killed a police officer while driving a stolen car in Merseyside in October has been sentenced to 20 years. Clayton Williams was cleared of murdering PC Dave Phillips but found guilty of manslaughter. A 4-month-old baby is the only survivor of a tragic accident where a car slid on a pier and into the sea in County Donegal in Ireland. 5 people, including 3 other children, were found dead when the emergency services arrived at the scene yesterday evening. Joe Joyce from the RAI says his team were less shaken.
Arriving on scene here, there were 3 bodies floating in the water. You train for this, but nothing prepares you for this. Families, and that was probably an experience, and a lot of stuff went through their heads now at this particular moment in time.
Marion Catchett and the ringleader of the £14 million Hatton Garden robbery has been sentenced to 6 years and 3 months in jail. Brian Reader from Dartford in Kent, who's 77, pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit burglary last September. President Obama's on a 3-day visit to Cuba, the first sitting US president to visit the island for almost 90 years. It ends decades of hostility. He's called the trip historic. The weather, a dry and cloudy evening for most of the UK. The far north will be windy with some rain. And that's the BBC News at 3 minutes past 7.
Just after 7 o'clock Monday evening, 21st of March, weekend behind us. So much going on. So much been going on today. Lots been talked about, the very best of which you'll hear reflected on this show with you and me listening together over the next 3 hours. So springtime, birds are singing, parks are bursting with seasonal blooms. There are a lot of wildflowers out there in public spaces. So when is it okay to pick some for your table? That coming up in the next 5 minutes. Plus, how do you go about choosing a new name for a boat? If you follow social media, you already know it can be quite problematic. interesting names will make you smile after 7:30. Here's how to get in touch on the phone, 0345 300 1858. On the text, 81333. Starting any message, Mark at bbc.co.uk. And on Facebook and on Twitter, happy 10th birthday. Search Mark Forrest Show.